So as you know, I love the MyQ Video Garage keypad, but I know a lot of people are having issues with battery and it's creating a lot of frustration in their experience. In this video, I'm going to give you some ideas on how you might be able to adjust your settings to extend that battery life and kind of make that whole situation a little bit better. And at the end, I'm going to show you what I do to make sure that my keypad always has juice. So I have had a lot of comments on a couple of my previous videos, primarily the one where I did the installation of the keypad and how the battery life is just horrible and people are having a lot of issues with it. So as you can see, here are some of the comments I'm getting. And to be honest with you, if I was getting the battery life some of these people are getting, I wouldn't be happy either. Now, I personally have not had battery issues. Mine is consistently getting about 8 weeks between charges or swaps. So I can't really speak to maybe what's causing it, but I want to go ahead and show you what my settings are in my MyQ app as to what I set for notifications, for events. So as you can see, here's settings for audio, and here's settings for video, and then here's settings for the notifications. So maybe you can take those and kind of compare them to yours and see if maybe you can make some adjustments, because I haven't had any issues at all with those settings. Now for me, it gives me the perfect balance of what I want to see, how I want to see it, and the obvious battery life. Now, if you want to see more events and have more notifications, obviously that's going to reduce your battery life because it's going to be using more battery to create those events. But it just depends on what your needs are and what you really want to do. Now, I do know that MyQ has pushed out a firmware last week or the week before. I'm not really sure exactly all the details of what that firmware includes as far as what it fixes or the issues that it addresses. I can't seem to get any specifics, but I'm hoping that they have addressed this battery issue. So of course, I'm going to monitor my battery usage since that firmware came out. It hasn't really been out long enough for me to really kind of get a good idea or a sense of how fast the battery is draining, if it's the same or worse or better. But I'll be curious to see if it does make any improvements. So that way, some people might be able to change their settings and get that battery life back up where it needs to be. It'd be awesome if MyQ could fix this problem and kind of create a situation where it's pretty consistent across the board, because this really is a great product. The video quality is excellent. The audio quality is excellent. The face recognition works great. The Amazon in-garage delivery feature is fantastic. I've used it several times and I love it. My packages stay dry, they stay safe, I don't have to worry about it. And with the MyQ door lock on the inside of the garage, as soon as that garage goes up, that door locks, they put the package, and I don't have to worry about any unauthorized access into my home. So it's kind of disheartening that so many people are having problems and they're not having a great experience with it, because it really does work. I think MyQ needs to really kind of pay attention to this, and hopefully this firmware can help fix the problem. Again, I will find out. But if it doesn't, they need to develop another firmware or something that can help with this battery life, or give some additional settings to where they can be a little more granularly controlled. If you have a MyQ video keypad, let me know in the comments section below what your experience has been like. I'd really like to kind of compare. And if you wouldn't mind sharing your settings, that would be awesome too. Hopefully we can kind of maybe figure out if there's a particular setting that's creating some of this that people can change and help improve that experience. So let's go downstairs and I'm going to show you what I do to make sure that I always have power to that keypad. So as promised, I'm going to show you what I do to help alleviate this battery situation. Now, I'm not having a real issue with the battery running down prematurely. but I also didn't want to have to wait to charge the battery. So I went ahead and purchased a second battery. That's going to allow me the ability to just do a quick swap and then charge up the one that was taken out, and that way I don't have to worry about it. So the first thing you're gonna need is a little tiny Phillips head screwdriver, because the screw on the bottom of here is extremely small. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this battery out here. Be careful, don't lose that. And then this just pops off here like this. And you see there's a cover on the back. Just pop the cover off. There's the battery. And this is that little clip that gives you such a problem when you first open this, but once you've had it out, it just pops right out with no problem. So here's the old battery. And let me go grab the new one. Okay, so now it's just reverse. Pop it in there, clip it in there, put the cover back on, slide it up in there. You can see the light comes on, turns green, and then kind of flashes to let you know it's starting to connect to the Wi-Fi. Put the screw back in it. That's it, it's done. So now you see how easy that is. So having a spare battery is going to be probably the easiest way for you to handle this battery situation if you want to use this keypad. Now, I personally have really enjoyed using this keypad. I like its functionality. I like the video quality. I like the audio quality. It's great with Amazon in-garage delivery, which I've used several times. Now, I know replacing a battery is not a resolution for poor battery performance. It can be kind of maybe a stopgap for you to have a quick, easy solution to get your camera back up and running until MyQ can figure out, maybe with a firmware update or something to help improve battery life. I do know there was recently a firmware update pushed out, but I still haven't been able to determine exactly the specifics of what that firmware included, which I'm going to continue to try to investigate. This is how you can easily mitigate the battery situation. So as you can see by that whole process, it was really fast. I did purchase an extra battery and I keep it charged. So that way, as soon as this one that's installed starts to get low, I'll just swap them out. I'll usually swap them out about 25% so I don't let it get too low. I'm gonna put links in the description below to the battery, and I'm also gonna link to the video keypad so you can go check that out. I highly recommend the battery purchase only because it makes it so much easier to swap and you don't have any downtime. You don't have to wait for the battery to charge. The batteries are like 30 bucks, so they're not real expensive and they don't add a tremendous amount to the overall cost, and it just makes things easier. Now, of course, if you're still swapping the battery every 2 or 3 days, that's irritating, but at least it can give you a little easier method of keeping your camera up until hopefully MyQ can come up with a solution to help improve this. So let me know in the comments section below if you have any questions or comments. Again, I'd love to see what your experience has been like if you have one. And you'll definitely go watch this video for the installation of the keypad.